wasallam. Where are we when it comes to these hadith, and there are many of them, and the lives of the awliya and the great ones have always been focused on this principle. So he gives us these hadiths first of all, and then he talks about fawaidul ju'. Why is it a quality of prophetic perfection? Why is it a quality of the awliya? What's so special about making the stomach hurt? Well, he gives a list of benefits here. So he says, الفائدة الأولى صفاء القلب وإيقاظ القريحة وإنقاذ البصيرة. The first one is the purification of the heart and helping one's perception to be more penetrating. If you're kind of bloated, swollen, your capacity to perceive things sharply and perceptively is less. Your basira is less. This is a basic biological fact about human beings. For most of our history, we were hunter-gatherers, presumably. And when you were hungry, you were out hunting, and when you were hunting, you needed to be absolutely focused. Hunger has that effect. You pay attention. If you've just eaten your mammoth or whatever it is, and you're kind of sitting around with your friends afterwards, you're not really terribly perceptive. We all have that experience. Oh, buffet at the Islamic conference was so great that we never did get to talk about the maqasid fully. But this is alas how we are. And so Imam al-Ghazali is saying something that's obviously right. If you don't eat so much, you'll be more perceptive. Your basira will go further. And then الفائدة الثانية رقة القلب وصفاؤه الذي به يتهيأ لإدراك لذة المثابرة والتأثر بالذكر. So the first is kind of about how your mind works, and the second is about how the heart works. رقة القلب, softness, delicacy of the heart. And we have normally, we're not hungry very often, not really hungry. In Ramadan, however, we often have a kind of sense of this, and Ramadan is a very subtle thing spiritually because it's hard work. But towards the end of it, we do feel that things in Deen are coming more easily for us, and that we remember things that we kind of let slip in the previous 11 months. And when Ramadan is over, we kind of miss it, and we can't quite say why. But of course the Eid is all about eating aunties, pakoras, and we kind of make up for lost time. And after 2 or 3 days, we almost forget that we've been fasting. We get snapped back into our old habits quite easily. But during Ramadan, we can feel that we are detached from dunya, and that the hunger, after a while you get so used to it, you don't notice it so much. It's like a wound or a pain that's kind of constant, so after a while you don't think about it so often because it's kind of in the background constantly. And you're no longer distracted by that, and you are in a state of greater purity of perception. There's no doubt about it. You hear the Qur'an better, you notice other people better, you notice yourself better. Of course you can get ratty and bad-tempered, but that is just a consequence of improper internal discipline in a situation which is metabolically a bit difficult. الفائدة الثالثة, he's going to give us a third benefit of being hungry. الانكسار والذل وزوال البطر والفرح والأشر الذي هو مبدأ الطغيان والغفلة عن الله تعالى. The third benefit is brokenness, humbleness, and the ending of pride and exuberance, which are the fountainhead of lording it over others and forgetting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is a certain of pride that we get into when we've just had a good meal and we really feel great about ourselves and we have a high opinion of ourselves, rather like, say, suddenly coming into a lot of money. Immediately the heart is hardened and we feel superior to others. These things harden the heart. If you're hungry, you tend to be uncertain, your pride is broken, and we experience this again in Ramadan. It's good that we're doing this book in Sha'ban, that in Ramadan, if you've been fasting, say, for 10, 12 hours, it's harder to be proud and to be arrogant. That's just our experience. We are kind of munkasir, we're broken a little bit. And that's really important. Pride, deadliest of the deadly sins. Hunger kind of changed that up, whereas being full gives it full reign. Let's just see what remaining. He has a whole list of benefits. Yeah, here's another scary one. Al-Fa'idatu Rabi'ah, the fourth benefit, is that through hunger we don't forget Allah's trial and His punishment. And also that we don't forget people who are already in a state of tribulation. Because the one who is always full ignores the one who is hungry and ignores the reality of hunger itself. So this is a kind of empathetic thing about what our own prospects might be like when Allah chooses to punish us, but it's also about empathy with others who are experiencing hunger. And again, Ramadan can be beneficial in this. Al-Fa'idatul Khamisa, let's just try and finish this list. The fifth benefit, وَهِيَ مِنْ أَكْبَرِ الْفَوَائِدِ, one of the best, the biggest of benefits, كَسْرُ شَهَوَاتِ الْمَعَاصِي كُلِّهَا, is that it breaks every one of the desires for sin. وَالْإِسْتِلَاهِ عَلَى النَّفْسِ الْأَمَّارَ بِالسُّوءِ, and it controls, it helps us to control the nafs ammara bis-su', which is this beast within. فَإِنَّ مَنْشَأَ الْمَعَاصِي كُلِّهَا الشَّهَوَاتِ, because the basic point of origin of sins is desires. So if through hunger we are kind of humbled and these desires are weakened, and the desire for pride and envy and all of that is weakened, then we have received a kind of protection, a kind of suit of armor that will preserve us. So he has other benefits. For instance, if you don't eat so much, you need to sleep less, he says. It helps you to worship, he says, regularly, if you haven't been eating too much. You don't need to earn so much if you eat simple and sort of few foods. Because you are able to spend less on food, you're in a better position to give sadaqah and prefer others to yourself. So those are essentially the 10 benefits. We'll just close with that section, inshallah.